Hey, thanks a lot, Deirdre. So can everybody hear me and see the screen?
Yep.
Yep,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Okay. So thanks a lot, everybody, for inviting us here today. First up, I'm going to say apologies from Stuart Lawn, who was due to talk today. He's the manager of our Fab Lab here. So he'll get involved, I'm sure, in the coming days and take part in questions. So my name is Leo Scarff. I'm just going to talk very briefly about who we are and what we do. We are the Fab Lab Maker Hub. We're one of Ireland's Fab Labs. We're based in a very rural part of the northwest of Ireland. Currently, we're located in a building called the W8 Centre, which you can see in the bottom left corner there. W8 is a brand new innovation business hub that's located in the town here. And I suppose we started out 5 or 6 years ago now. Three of us came together, Alistair, Stuart, and myself, and we're all from kind of engineering, media, tech backgrounds, specifically with myself, and from a product design background. And I suppose we were all using the digital tools that maker spaces and fab labs around the world were using. So we got talking and set up the lab then. So I suppose I'm just very briefly going to talk specifically about our work in education within primary and secondary schools. We run workshops pretty much for every age group here. You know, the youngest being kind of 8 to 10-year-olds. We've had 80-year-olds take part in our workshops. So we don't necessarily come at making and digital fabrication from an academic point of view, but we certainly, you know, reach or take a lot of the boxes within so many of the schools in the area here who are trying to engage in kind of STEM and STEAM, you know, strategies. So that's why I'm showing Neil Gershenfeld there, just to say that I suppose, you know, we had thought about setting up a makerspace in our initial phase, but we looked at the Fab Lab model and found that it was an incredible one, simply from the point of view of the network, the worldwide network that is available now, with, you know, a couple of thousand Fab Labs worldwide now. So we were very interested in that. So I'm showing a slide there of kind of our first makerspace with all those typical tools, you know, scanning, laser cutting, 3D printing, CNC, and so on, which has evolved over the years. We're now kind of in a mobile setup. We do have a base, which I said is in W8 here, but we do carry out workshops right across the northwest of Ireland every week. At the moment, obviously with COVID, we're doing a lot of work online. So just before we started, I was just mentioning that, you know, in terms of education, we are in a kind of an unusual phase where we're trying to convert a lot of the kind of physical classes that we would give into kind of online learning. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We do a lot of demonstration work as well, in terms of kind of pop-up labs, pop-up fab labs. And that, I suppose, is to educate the wider community and a lot of the organizations that are involved. So we visit a lot of business hubs, community halls. We gather in people who are interested in using those 21st century tools, as was spoken about there. In terms of primary and secondary schools, we run a lot of classes. I could talk for an hour about the different types of classes that we run. What we have been trying to do in the last 3 or 4 years is to, we've been tasked by a lot of the county councils here in Ireland in the Northwest and the Department of Education to kind of implement a program whereby we start to get a lot of the technology that we have in Fab Labs into the schools, so that we're not just visiting once a month or once every 6 months, that the school, every school should really have a range of digital tools that can be used every day. And that's the best way, I suppose, to integrate, what's going on from a curriculum point of view with all those tools that are available today. So we have worked with many age groups, like I said, but we also just in our current setup here and late last year and early this year, we're working with the TY students. For those of you who don't know that, it's the transition year students, whereby secondary level kids take a break during their schooling and take a year out to explore, I suppose, their future in terms of going to college or getting jobs. And they also get involved in kind of entrepreneurial tasks where they're tasked with creating a service or a product. So that's a kind of a big thing for us at the moment. We're trying to engage and get them to work with us to develop their ideas, and we then help out with how to get those products made. We also run a lot of summer schools, in terms of robotics. We run a whole series of workshops, explaining all the machines and what each one can do. I suppose over the years we've taken part in several kind of career shows, most notably the AIB Future Sparks exhibition, which is a national show in Ireland here that explores, I suppose, what types of avenues or roads you can follow when you're leaving secondary schooling. So we give a whole range of demonstrations there at that. Another aspect just of what we do is we engage with the local library service here. A lot of libraries in Ireland now are trying to set up maker spaces in whatever way they can. Many at the moment just maybe get a 3D printer and install software on whatever machines they have available. So that's a great initiative. We've been installing them across a lot of the branches in the Northwest here, and then giving classes to different age groups, mostly at the weekend, start Saturdays. The kids come in with their parents, sit down, and we teach a range of software skills and explain what the hardware can do. I suppose another thing that we try to do in relation to getting the parents involved in what the kids are doing, we've run a series of workshops called Design with the Family now. The poster there on the left-hand side is a recent one, which took place late last year. That was to basically we have a parent and a child that come in. We set them a task to create, in that case there, we set them a task to create a musical contraption of some kind, something that would make sound, that would make music. We went through a whole range of tools and explored lots of ideas around music making and making sound. That was a lot of fun. We had so much fun there. Other classes in the past have involved, I suppose, making or designing products. So coming up with something, innovative and something which is needed in the world. We're very much focused on that. Another aspect of how we're kind of dealing with not being able to get out into classrooms at the moment, in a physical sense, we've looked at creating a series of podcasts, which you can have a look at on our website, and we've kind of explored in each one maybe a certain machine. So we have one on 3D printing, one on laser cutting. I recently took part in one with Stuart on product design and all the materials that are involved and how to go about getting materials, getting the right one for whatever project you're involved with. So that's just a way, I suppose, to for people to access the information now, because it's so difficult at the moment. Everything has to be done through these screens that we're sat in front of. So I suppose the challenge for us from an educational point of view is how to translate, I suppose, the fun aspect of being in a room and having a machine working and pressing that button. That's the task that we face. So I suppose a lot of the media, the AV tools that we have, will need to change and adjust around that. Just a couple of other things. We also produce kind of laser cut kits, on top of the kind of MakerBots and Arduino boards and so on that we use in the robotics classes. We produce these kits, which are simple to make, come in those panels that you see there, and the kids press out the parts, and we have a sheet to explain how to put those together. So those are great. They flat pack, so it can be posted out. And again, we have videos on, for instance, how to put our geodesic dome together. So it's very low level in terms of the engagement, but we let the kids explore what else they can do with it. Just finally, to talk about the our approach, I suppose, to education. And I put this slide together, which you all might like to take away today. And it really just, I suppose, shows our kind of thoughts on what approach is best. There's three aspects to it, I suppose. Digital tools and skills is what we're all here talking about today, and the importance of getting kids to be aware of not just, the hardware that's out there, which is incredible and changes every day, but also what software they can use. So we look at a range of 2 and 3D design skills. And at the moment here, we're exploring and going to be exploring the world of VR and AR in terms of how that could help us in that way, that online way to transfer those skills and to explore the machines and what can be done. The other aspect is design methodology, we feel that, you know, having an incredible machine sitting in the corner is great, but it's worthless without having an approach with how to use it. So we think about circular thinking and the design process a lot. We also then look at circular making and what materials to use. So that's really key. And you know, those two items would be nothing really without you know, innovative research and the ideas to go with them. You know, again, you can have all those skills, you can have all those tools, and you can be, you know, educated in what design is, but unless you have, you know, the very important tool of how to create ideas and how to be innovative, uh, it doesn't really make sense. So those three aspects of uh, education are very important. Personally, I don't think they work on their own. You need all three. So there's a whole range of kind of methods that you can use, you know, to generate ideas, and then to start kind of physically, you know, ideating around those and making, you know, models, mock-ups, prototypes, and so on. And you know, also what you know, innovative research is, because you know, we find with so many classes that kids and grown-ups, the first thing they reach for when they're given a task is this one of these screens here, which is, you know, wrong in my view. They should be tasked with going out into the world and looking at real problems that exist and how to solve those. You know, so generating the original research is, you know, is key. So, you know, all of that together, I think, is how we approach education in this digital world today. So hopefully that might be a benefit to you all. So again, I wanted to just, you know, apologize that Stuart couldn't be here today. He is the tech guru. So hopefully you'll get to meet him at the next gathering. So thank you all. I'll leave you with our website and our contact information. So thanks a lot.